Okay, some good questions coming in there straight away after that business presentation. First one there is, can you apply for more than one course at Dunboyne College? The answer to that question is you can only apply for one course, but on the application form we actually give the option of putting in ranking 3 courses. So numbers 1 to 3. Number 1 is obviously the course that you would prefer to get, and then you will go through the application process and hopefully be offered that course.
Another good question then is if you had completed secondary school overseas, how could you apply for college? So that would be the same as the normal application, in the sense you'd apply online through the Dunboyne College website. At the moment, due to COVID and the restrictions there, you'd be asked to upload documentation which would include a personal statement. There's a guide to writing that on the main website page at the end, and also you'd be asked to upload certain information around your most recent set of results. So it would be the exact same if you were an overseas student or if you were a student here in the Republic of Ireland as well.
Another question coming in there is, how long are the courses at Dunboyne College? All the courses are 1 year full-time for an academic year. And what we do in the college is we actually condense the courses into either 3 or 3.5 days per week. So they're full-time courses, but they're condensed into 3 or 3.5 days per week. And the reason for this is to give you a day during the week to complete your work experience, which is a mandatory module on all of the courses, and also to give you time for preparation for assignments and doing research and things like that. Key dates are that the application process is actually now open. So our advice to you is, due to demand, I would be getting your application in as soon as possible. Once you get the application in, it is dealt with by the Friday of that week, and you should hear back the following week. And as Maeve just mentioned, you'll get an email requesting that you send forward certain documents. So all courses are for 1 year, starting at the end of August and finishing up in the middle of May.
So why would students attend further education is another area of interest that's coming into us there. So students attend further education really for many different reasons, I suppose, and it's growing in popularity over the years. Certainly, you know, in the past it was a much smaller cohort of students, but now we'd find students would come because maybe they have they want to progress in terms of trying out a course. Maybe they feel a bit young to go straight to university, maybe they haven't reached the CAO points that they wanted, or maybe they made errors on their CAO from school. Maybe they're a mature student wanting to get back into education, and some students want to upgrade in terms of their CV in order to go directly to employment as well. So there's several different reasons why students might come to further education. Further education is nationally and internationally recognised, so your cert can be brought with you across waters as well, and you can use it to access different degrees in other countries. Here in Ireland itself, there's links to all universities and colleges throughout the country, which are a set of results that you'd gain from further education. And again, to widen your horizons and upscale is also another reason why students would come to further education.
I suppose another trend we see in the last couple of years is that it's no longer an alternative. It's now seen as people's first choice when applying to progress on to college. Students are now seeing the benefits of attending further ed and the different modules that will help them when they get on to third level afterwards.
Indeed, and students often say at the end of their year at further education how the year has helped them progress in so many ways in terms of what they learn in a college environment. They learn referencing and the use of Moodle and those type of in-house systems that colleges use for their notes and things like that. So what students normally say to us at the end of the year is that they find that it's very valuable, and students normally progress on and do much better after they've come through a further education route as well.
And then following on from that, the dropout rate is much lower for students who have come through further ed than going straight into first year of third level. Another question came in there was, what level are the courses at in Dunboyne College? What they mean by that is there's a body called the National Framework of Qualifications, and they govern the awards given out by colleges. So when you would come to a college of further ed, you would be studying at the QQI, what's called QQI level 5, okay? Your Leaving Cert is in and around the same level, level 5, but the courses here are at level 5. And what that means is, after successfully completing a level 5, that then allows you to progress on to third level and take courses at levels 6, 7 and 8. The level 8 courses are usually the higher level degrees, the level 7s are the ordinary level degrees, and the level 6s are usually kind of diploma courses. So in Dunboyne, you'll be taking your course at QQI level 5.
So a few questions coming in as well there about transport. How would you get from Enfield to Dunboyne College? So if there are lots of public service transport links obviously around the college that will access different areas. Also the areas that we find that haven't got that public transport link, we have a private service then that is put on, and that's forever changing. So we find if the demand is there for a particular area or a new growth area where there might be new schools that have emerged in an area, for example in Ashbourne there's been new schools that have come on stream, and we'll start up different transport links there. So for Enfield we have a transport link that Leixlip Enfield, that type of direction, and that leaves at a certain point then a pick-up point and a drop-off point 9 a.m. and it gets to college for 9 a.m. and leaves again, departs at 4 p.m. So that's always there's always transport, and that's forever changing. Yeah.
Another question in there about the progression to higher education. So how does it work? So basically how it works is all colleges in the country keep places for PLC students on most of their courses. So what they do is they ring fence a certain amount of places on most of the courses for PLC students. So what you do is after completing the year at Dunboyne College, you will then reapply through the CAO system next year, and you will not be in competition with Leaving Cert students. You will only be in competition with other PLC students for those ring fenced places. And just to give you an idea of the places that are in the colleges there, so last year Maynooth, they kept over 300 places on on their courses for first years. In UCD there was over 245 places. DCU over 238 places for PLC students. Trinity College Dublin 125, and TUD City Centre had over 750 places for PLC applicants. Also in Blanchardstown and Tallaght, up to 50% of most of their courses were kept for PLC students. So you're not in competition next year with the Leaving Cert students, you're only in competition with other PLC students, and there's a certain amount of places ring fence on every course. Depends on the course, usually it's in and around 10% of the places, but other courses vary. For example, Arts in Maynooth keeps 175 places, and as I said to you there, TUD Blanchardstown and Tallaght keeps up to 50% of the places on their courses for PLC applicants.
Also then, there's just to continue on with a question about the transport from Enfield, there is also one from Navan, and again, as I said, all areas that don't have a public service to Dunboyne will have one for the private buses that we put on, and if there isn't one, as I said, we try to look at areas that might need that and we put that on. Just a query there that has come in about a product design course, to try and get onto that. If a student was looking at product design and trying to access that degree at higher education, what course they would use to access that through further education. So of course here at Dunboyne College, there's several that would link in. So we tend to use the Careers Portal website, looking up the QQI links requirements rather than entry requirements. And that'll bring you to a list of courses at further education, QQI awards that would link into higher education degrees. So when you look at the likes of product design, you'd see that there are courses that link in that we provide, such as computer systems and networks. We have graphic design. We have a couple more there as well. There's
architecture as well.
The architecture as well. So there's a few there that would be linkage. Again, if you use Careers Portal and you look at QQI links rather than the entry requirement links, it will give you these names. But certainly graphic designs, architecture, or computer network systems, they'll all link into product design for you.
Another question coming in there is, do you have to go on to another college after attending Dunboyne? That's a really good question. And the answer is no, you don't. Okay, the two options that we work on here at Dunboyne College is to prepare you for both employment or to progress on to college. And as Maeve mentioned earlier, there, all of our courses are recognised nationally and internationally for both progression on to college and for employment. So lots of our courses would lead straight into employment, or if you want to go the progression route into college. So take things like beauty, airline, etc., hairdressing, there would be 100% employment from a lot of those courses. So there would. So no, you don't have to go on to college if that's not the route you want to take, but if you do want to go on to college, there is the progression route there.
Another question there about what would someone's options be after they did the social care course at PLC. So PLC, as we know, is further education, post-leaving cert course. And when we say QQI, that's the award that's given at further education. So if you took social care here in Dunboyne College, you could use that, as Derek has pointed out, to either go straight on to a higher education degree in social work, social care, sociology, lots of other areas, arts degrees, different types of degrees as well, not just in the social care sector. And you can also use your set of results if you wish to upgrade your or upskill your CV as well, in terms of a sort of an assistant type role in that area or in that sector as well. But most students that we'd find on our social care course would use it to access maybe social care in Maynooth would be quite high, or social care Blanchardstown. Obviously, with our location here at Dunboyne, Maynooth and Blanchardstown, TU Dublin Blanchardstown, factor very heavily for us in terms of our progression, because the location allows that. And that's where we would see a lot of our students in social care go on to those type of degrees.
Another good question coming in there about the progression from Dunboyne as well. Where have our students ended up from last year? Almost 91% of our students who applied for CEO last year have ended up in third level, which is an amazing achievement down to the hard work of those students. And just to give you an example of some of the places, like we have 90 students this year in Maynooth University, 29 in DCU, 20 in UCD, 233 of our students are in TU Dublin. That was where Blanchardstown, Tala and DIT have amalgamated to form Technological University of Dublin. 21 in Dundalk, 18 in Athlone. I'm not going to go through them all there. We have students all over the country, other students in Cork, Galway, Waterford, and quite a number of our students have also gone over to the UK to study areas, particularly in the area of nursing. So as you see, students all over the country there in all the different third level institutions.
So what way does it work is another area that students are looking to find out around. How does it work to go from further education into higher education? There is a link scheme called the Higher Education Link Scheme that's used for students to progress using this set of results, as Derek has pointed out already, to go on into higher education. So you're basically taking your subjects here. You might take 9 or 10, 8 are going to be counted in your award, depending on the course itself that you're trying to aim towards. You might need to pass all 8, or you might need to get distinctions in some and things like that.
Okay, another good question coming in there asking, is Dunboyne College like a third level college? And the answer to that is very much so. And just like there's two different areas that I'll speak about there. First of all is the support services that are provided for students. It's the exact same as you would get in any third level college. There's academic support that's there to help you with all of your preparation of assignments. So if you need help with referencing, or if you needed help with looking up information, etc., there's help in that. There's counselling services, there's IT services. Each course has a class mentor who look after you for the year. They're your first port of call for any queries you might have. Learning support department and our library, and other societies and clubs that we have as well. What we do is when the students join us in August, we'll form the student committee straight away, and they will get together and do some research amongst the students to find out what their interests are. And if there's a demand for a certain society or a certain club, they will be set up by the student union. For example, this year, earlier on the year, we had football, debating, student council, beauty club, political society, and also we have an Erasmus exchange program which wasn't able to run this year, but hopefully it'll be back up in the not too distant future, where you will get the chance to go abroad to study for 3 weeks. So it's all the same as third level. All the different facilities, clubs, societies and departments, they're all there. So there.
Question here about the entry requirements for us and in terms of the leaving certificate in terms of subjects. So it's, does it matter if you didn't meet the requirements for the leaving cert in terms of subjects to get into college with the QQI? Good question. So basically, at the moment, the situation for enrolment to Dunboyne College is, with the COVID restrictions, is based on that personal statement that we ask you to upload after you've made your online application. So you'll be asked to make the personal statement, write up your personal statement, also to submit your most recent set of results. So that won't be your leaving cert in most cases. It will be a most recent set of results. And, with the school situation, it could be back in fifth year at some point for you to have the most recent set. That could be a Christmas set or something like that as well. So it's not necessarily the leaving cert requirements anymore. It's really your personal statement is going to weigh heavily for you. You really need to have a look at the Dunboyne College website. Down the end of the page will give you a guide to writing that. It's really important. We want to make sure that you're applying for the right course, so that you're a good fit for the course and that we're a good fit for you. So it's not good for us and it's not good for you if you drop out of the course after a few months' time or a few weeks' time if you feel it's not for you. Within the first few weeks, we do have a little bit of movement where there is students that will come and look for a transfer onto a different course. But ideally, we don't want you to be dropping out or picking the wrong course. So we want you to write the personal statement to tell us why you're applying for that course and why you think it suits you. So that weighs quite heavily, and you'll have your past most recent set of results as well that will add to that and confirm that. You'll also be asked then for a reference from school or a reference, if you're a mature student, a reference from a different body then also as well, that will give a sort of a rounded picture to give you that offer that you need.
Another question in there on what is the difference between a full award and a component award. What they're referring to there is when you come to a college of further education, you must take a minimum of 8 subjects. We call them modules here in College of Further Ed. So you must take a minimum of 8 modules. You can leave Dunboyne with one of 2 awards, either a component award or a full award. A component award is where you successfully complete a certain amount of those modules. Let's say, just for example, you might pass 5 modules. You get a component award, so you get a cert for each of those modules. However, if you successfully complete all 8 modules, and that's what you should be aiming for, you will get what's called a full award. And the full award is what allows you to progress on to 3rd level. So if you're coming to Dunboyne in order to progress on to 3rd level, you must successfully complete all 8 modules in order to be able to apply to the CAO next year to progress on to 3rd level. There are some mandatory modules on all of our courses. Modules such as communications and work experience and probably word processing are mandatory on most courses. And then the other modules will be related to the course that you have chosen to study.
So we have, we have 6 departments next year for your intake in September 2021 in the next academic year. And those, 6 departments have a wide range of courses now. There's also a selection of new courses in there, as well as all the new ones we brought in last year. So we now have over 50 courses. They can all be seen on the Dunboyne College website. You can have a look at the prospectus or the website itself. You can look under courses and you can just scroll down. What we would advise is for you to have a look at the name of the course and then systematically nearly looking at each page and looking at the name of it and maybe, reading a little bit further into it, because sometimes we don't really know what a course is about and we have preconceptions that we might not like something or and we just skip over it, whereas sometimes we surprise ourselves by looking at a course that we all of a sudden we think, oh my God, I like this bit. And we often see that in class itself, where a student has come to college, be it further education or higher education, and they take a degree or a course for a year, and you have preconceptions about what it is, and then oftentimes it turns out not to be that, and that contributes to the high dropout in higher education indeed. But also students might find that they like a subject, they like a module that they never thought they'd like, and maybe because they just didn't know it existed or they didn't know it was there, because you haven't been exposed to those things as a school student. So we would advise to look at the different names of the courses, look at the different, each page, and have a little read of them to try and confirm maybe that you're applying for the right course.
A student has just asked there, can they contact us directly, Maeve? So if you go on to the college website and go under student services, you will see both email addresses from Maeve and myself there. And absolutely, we have no problem taking emails from anybody. So please send us an email if you have any queries or questions, and we'll get back to you as soon as possible. So just go on to the college website, student services, and go down to the guidance counselling section, and you'll find Maeve and I in there and our email addresses. We'd love to answer any questions that we can.
Perfect.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks a million.